I've been thinking about getting trolled for speaking at the Unite for Europe march. It was a very strange experience for me because it's never happened to me before like that. Of course, people have been critical of things I've said before and they have commented negatively in the past, but always in a way that made it clear that they wanted to engage with my ideas and that they were trying to understand what I was saying or thinking, rather than rejecting things out of hand and acting in a way that was designed to hurt. So it just made me wonder what inspires people to do things like that. And of course, as a psychotherapist, it's obvious to me when clients behave like that and attack you out of the blue and for things that have nothing to do with you and that are very much out of order and inappropriate, and therefore in a way don't even touch you because you know it's not about you. When clients do that, of course it doesn't get to you because you know that it is their distress that is speaking. It is their difficulties that are coming out in the open. What they are demonstrating is that they don't have the wherewithal to engage with a real conversation, that they don't feel they're strong enough to counter arguments and to speak about things in a sensible and reasonable, rational way. They're just abreacting, they're just expressing something that they feel very strongly and that they must in some way find a way to communicate because it matters to them. So we never dismiss that kind of thing. We never say that person is bad or that person is just wrong or that person needs to be punished. What we say instead is, where is it coming from? Why is this person seeing me in that caricatured way, and why are they gunning for me? Why are they trying to upset me and push me around, bully me? Why are they doing that? Where is it coming from? What is the distress that leads to that kind of behavior? And the only thing I can come up with is that those people actually feel as strongly about the same things that I feel strongly about, but maybe they don't feel as able as I feel to find out the facts and to draw their own conclusions and to engage with other people to come up with solutions that are actually going to help them and improve their situation. Because it is my understanding that these people are very nationalistic and object to me speaking up for Europe, which of course is my background. I am a European. I have had Dutch, French and British nationalities, and there's only one category that fits me in the way I have lived my life, which is to be European, which is what many other people feel and care about. And we care about it. Why? Because we believe that Europe stands for peace and that it is a platform on which people can do exactly this thing, arguing things out, discussing things in dialogue and in fairness, looking at the facts, rather than just by rhetoric or by rejecting other people. And this is, I think, what's happened in the UK. People have stopped arguing things out with each other and they have rejected the platform of Europe where this can be done because they have been made to believe that that platform is somehow bad for them, that it will do them down. But the opposite is true. The platform that's doing them down is our current government, which is also very much against dialogue and conversation and looking at the facts and being rational about things. A government that is prepared to ignore the fact that there was only a 2% margin between pro and con, which is never a margin big enough to make huge decisions about a country's future on. It just isn't good government, and it isn't sensible, and it's not in line with the rules of democracy, where you need a 2/3 majority to make such shifts. The other part of it is, of course, that many people weren't allowed to vote, who are very much involved in this and whose futures are at stake. So it was also a very anti-democratic vote in itself too. And as it turns out, it's probably against many people's human rights, because they're losing all kinds of acquired rights and are being treated in an offhand way. So these things matter. It matters greatly that all the people that are getting victimized by this strange pulling out of Europe process are getting a hearing, and that we start to look at the facts about these things again, and that we get back to reasonable conversations. And as part of that process of getting into reasonable conversations, of course, those people who represent the points of view of those trolls, of those nationalists who feel so strongly against Europe, will also need to be heard. They're just as important as my views. I do not deny that for a moment. I just object to the way in which they're trying to bully people and try to silence them when such important things are at stake. And the things that are so important are not just important for me, because I'm okay now, thank you very much, with my dual nationality. It's actually much more important, very likely, for the people who are doing this, maybe in a kind of good faith or in a kind of despair. What they don't realize is that the oppressed in this country will be more oppressed after we exit the EU. They won't get their sovereignty back. They will lose it. They will get less democratic processes, and they will get more poverty and less attention to the regions that have now been bailed out by Europe. Really, it is a time to start looking at all the facts, put everything out on the table, and take a very good look at it again before we have deep and ongoing conversations, before we make these kinds of decisions, and before we start caricaturing, accusing, and dealing with the situation in a patriarchal or in an obnoxiously hierarchical manner, or in a kind of rebellious way. What we need here is mature thinking and engagement with the issues, and really look at what is best for the people of this country. And the people of this country, when they have the real facts in front of them, will know very well which way is best for them. But I will leave it to them to find out about the facts for themselves, and I won't be talking down to them about it. But I will appreciate it if they give me the same respect as I'm trying to accord them.